call 01733 496 584.
Peterborough's community radio station, Salaam Radio, 106.2 FM.
Good afternoon and welcome to Keep Women Talking. We are back.
We are indeed.
And we have missed this so much, haven't we, Sue?
We have. It seems like it's been forever.
I know. So I am your host, Mandy, and I'm joined by my co-host, Sue.
Hello.
And we are from Peterborough Women's Aid. And if you are new to listening to our show, this is a show all about the work we do at Peterborough Women's Aid, issues that, you know, women might have, and then we talk about the work we do. So we talk about domestic abuse and what's going on in the community. We've had a switch around in the studio, and I can see myself on YouTube, and it's freaking me out a bit. I feel I want to wave.
Wave to yourself.
So, like always, we're going to start with a bit of an intro in terms of what Peterborough Women's Aid have been doing, and it's been like a really long time. I think it's November, possibly, since we were last on.
Maybe even
before. Or maybe even before. So we're going to talk to you about what we've been doing. And obviously, we've had the festive season, haven't we? So the question of the week, this week, what was your favourite Christmas gift? And if you don't celebrate Christmas, what has generally just been your favourite gift?
Ever,
yeah.
Do you know what my favourite gift was?
Go on.
I am mad about Monsters, Inc., the film. You know, the film by Pixar.
I want to say with a blue monster?
Yep, that's the one.
Yep.
So that blue monster is called Sully.
Okay.
Who I love.
Right.
My daughter, my adult daughter, I used to have, bought me a pair of Sully slipper socks.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely love them. And they my feet are always cold. And they are the warmest pair of socks ever. So,
I love that.
It's the best gift.
Yeah. Sometimes the best
adore them.
gift is not the most expensive gift.
No, absolutely.
It's the thought, isn't it, that counts, as they say?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Did you get something good?
Well, I want to say about two gifts I got. One, I literally can't get my head around how this works. So I got bone earphones.
Oh,
Right.
I've seen them. They're really clever.
Yeah, and you can wear them swimming.
Oh, I didn't know you could wear them swimming.
So we like the gym and we like to swim, don't we? So you wear them swimming, and like
so they sit in front of your ears on the almost like your cheekbone, don't they?
And so the other day I thought, I'm going to test them out in the swimming pool. So I had my earphones on, I had my phone nearby, so I was like Bluetoothing a podcast, and I went underwater, and the earphones.
Could you still hear
Yes.
it? Wow.
How does that even work?
I've got no idea.
I don't know.
But I'm very impressed they work in water. And can I just add that these bone headphones are perfect for women when they're out running on the street because it allows you still to be able to hear.
Yes.
And that's one of the reasons that I was talking to someone about them the other week.
Yeah. Because we've always said, for safety reasons, if you're out running, have one earpod in and out, one earpod out.
Yeah,
but you're
so that
right.
you can still hear everything around you.
So I had a conversation with someone in the gym, and I was listening to something on my earphones, but I could still hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
So that is a great.
So it's perfect when you're out and about. If you still want to listen to music, but you can still have that awareness of what's going on around you.
That is a great safety tip.
It is.
There we go. And then can I just quickly touch on my second present?
Yes, what was your second present?
We got a puppy as a family.
I've seen photos of the puppy.
You've seen photos of the
I'm still
puppy.
waiting to meet the puppy, though.
So we've got a Cocker Spaniel puppy, and I can honestly say I obviously love dogs, love a puppy. We used to have a dog, and he passed away last year, and we decided we were going to get a family puppy. I was not ready, Sue. This puppy he doesn't sleep. And all he wants to do is bite me. And it's just been like Christmas was a blur because this Cocker Spaniel puppy.
So you're walking around in a sleep-deprived
I
haze.
tell you what, touch wood. Is there any wood in the studio? No, touch wood. Oh, there's a bit. For the last 3 nights, he slept from 11 till 7. And
That's better.
I felt like a new woman. But I was
'Cause
not
you'd managed to
prepared
get some sleep.
for puppy stuff.
No. You never know what you're getting with them, do you? That's the trouble.
No.
We
Everyone
had
kept
one
saying
that
it's
was-
like having a newborn. And I was like, oh, don't be so silly. Of course it's not. It's just a dog. But yeah, I think it's worse than having a newborn because it can move.
That's true.
Yeah,
Definitely.
puppy.
So hopefully you're catching up on some sleep now.
I'm catching up on some sleep. Yeah.
He'll outgrow it. That's all I keep saying to you.
Fingers crossed. So lots of stuff has been happening, isn't it, at Peterborough Women's Aid
It
since we were
has.
last here?
It has. Over the festive period, it's always a manic time for us. And every single year, I say how overwhelmed we are by people's generosity at this time of year. And again, this year, it reaches a point where we're at Christmas, and I just cannot believe the amount of donations that we receive. And it's absolutely incredible because it helps us to keep going throughout the year. And that. And then as we come into January, which we'll probably talk about in a bit anyway, in terms of the actual work that we do in supporting women, that's an incredibly busy time for us as well.
Yeah.
And that. So since sort of the end of November up until today and into February, we are absolutely crazy.
We are manically crazy, aren't we? And not only, so we had so many donations, didn't we? And that enabled us to make sure that Christmas was, lovely for our families that we have in the Refuge. Everyone had a present, mum, children and everything. But this year we were also able to support the women in our communities, weren't we?
Yes.
By giving out gifts and giving out presents for Christmas. Bearing in mind that a lot of the families we support have left a relationship and don't have the financial means to buy presents at Christmas.
That's it, exactly. And even we very often ask for toiletries because women often flee with nothing, and like you say, because they've got limited funds, and toiletries can be expensive.
Yeah.
So we also make sure that, mum always gets something as well, so that they've got toiletries to keep them going, and nice things, nice body lotions and things.
Yeah.
And they go, like you say, they've gone out to so many of our clients over the festive period, and we know it makes such a huge difference to them all.
Yeah. So yeah, we were just inundated, weren't we? And we had our first specific Christmas campaign, which was very exciting because we had like an appeals video, didn't we? And it was the first time we'd ever done an appeals video.
We had an idea, didn't we?
Yeah.
And ran with it, and we weren't quite sure how it would be received, but yeah, it worked really,
and
really
we
well.
wanted to raise £1,500, and we raised exactly £1,500. So yeah, that was just brilliant. And then throughout 2025, it was our 50th year, wasn't it?
It was.
And we had this goal to raise £50,000, which
It seemed huge this time last year.
Yeah.
And we were like, are we ever going to be able to achieve this?
And the fantastic news was we raised, I know the exact amount, £59,640 in 1 year, which is nearly double what we raised in 2024. Yeah. So everyone that donated to us did things. We had people jumping out of planes. We had coffee mornings. We had football matches. We had everything.
Yeah, everything you can possibly think of.
It was,
as well as we had our football family day.
We did.
We had the Great Eastern Run. We
Yeah.
had our ball.
Yeah. Oh, so we achieved the target, £59,640, but we had our charity ball in November, didn't we?
We did.
Tell us about that, Sue.
Oh, it was just amazing again this year. It's such a lovely event, and it's such a positive experience. And it's really hard work for us, setting everything up. We started at 9:30 on the Saturday morning, arriving at the Holiday Inn and preparing, because we decorate all the room ourselves, blowing up balloons endlessly again, which always seems to come to me, strangely enough.
That's because I've got my nails.
And tying balloons and making them into nice balloon arches. So yeah, it's a really long day for us, but oh my goodness, what an event. It was amazing. And this year we were really lucky. We had 2 guest speakers
We did.
who came up, who are survivors of domestic abuse, who told us their story, how they've moved forward in their lives, the support that they've received. And it's just so heartwarming, and it just makes us really appreciate the work that we do and the impact it can have on an individual and their family.
Yeah, it was really powerful, wasn't it?
It was.
And we did have good fun as well.
We did. Lots of dancing.
We had Rod Stewart.
It wasn't the Rod Stewart.
It wasn't
Can
the
we be
Rod
clear
Stewart,
on that?
but I felt like he was very close to the Rod
We had
Stewart.
a tribute act.
Yep.
And can I just say that Mandy is a huge fan of Rod Stewart.
Love Rod Stewart.
It wasn't everybody's cup of tea, but Mandy was up there dancing the night away, loving life.
Next year, so at the end of the ball, so we have the ball on a Saturday, don't we? And then Sue and I, and we've got a few other members of staff, we have to reconvene on the Sunday morning to take everything away.
Yeah, to tidy everything up.
And every Sunday after the ball, we say, we are never, ever doing that again. Guess what's happened? We've booked it.
We've booked a
We've
date.
booked it for this year. So there we go. Right, our question of the week is, what was your favourite Christmas gift? And if you don't celebrate Christmas, what has been your best gift ever? So you can comment on YouTube, X or Twitch and let us know your favourite gift. So we've been talking about Christmas, Sue, and I was asked, as I'm asked every year, to do various media interviews about the increase in domestic abuse over the Christmas period. I have opinions on that question. Do you want to give me your opinion on that question?
Well, this is a really difficult thing to discuss. We find in general that over the Christmas period, the actual contact we have from the community actually drops. We believe this is because people tend to think, I'll hold it together, I'll make do, I'll put up with X, Y and Z during the Christmas period or the festive period. And this can happen at Ramadan, it can happen at Easter, at any sort of
celebration,
family, holiday, family time. A lot of people will think, I'll just put up with it, I'll just get through this for the sake of the children, for the sake of the family, we'll keep us all together. And this is what I was saying earlier about January is always extremely busy for us. And that's because people get through that period and then in January they go, okay, start of a new year, I need to do something about this now. And they contact us for advice, for support, for guidance, for help to flee and for safety planning, you know, and all those little bits that we do to help these women move forward, or men.
Yeah.
Because it obviously happens to everyone.
Obviously, yes, it does. So always when I get this request for media stuff over the Christmas period, the questions are like, well, there's a lot of alcohol being consumed and, you know, that causes domestic abuse. I want to throw the microphone out of the room because alcohol does not...
And drugs do not cause domestic abuse.
It is the perpetrator who chooses to abuse, and if alcohol and drugs cause domestic abuse, everyone that consumed alcohol or took drugs would be a perpetrator. So it's just this myth, isn't it? Yeah. And it's just minimising, saying, well, it was the alcohol that did it.
Or it only happens on special occasions.
Yeah.
Or like you say, when someone's had a drink or...
Yeah. It's not the alcohol. A perpetrator chooses to abuse because he wants to be in control of a situation. So any media outlets that are out there and ask me this question next year. Also when the World Cup's on, same thing.
Yes. Yes, that's another one, isn't it?
Okay, I also did... Now, this was a little bit out of my comfort zone because it's out there, but it's not... It hasn't been in the media that much. I think it has a little bit because I think there's been a change in legislation, and that's why someone asked to interview me about it. And it's the production of deep fake images. So
can you explain more, Mandy? So we know what you're talking about.
So it's when, for example, they would take somebody's face and then change the body. So the body is either naked or wearing maybe inappropriate clothing, and then they would put this on like Instagram or socials and stuff. So it seems to be happening.
So they're using a actual person's face and then putting it on a fake body.
Yeah, and making it look real, and then posting it on socials or the internet or whatever, and especially with kind of young people. So it's a form of abuse and harassment and bullying, but it's getting more and more common.
And it's quite scary, isn't it? I think it's quite easy to do as well with technology and probably apps that are out there.
And AI and all of that stuff. But the impact, I did a little bit of research before I did the interview, and the impact on victims of this is massive. Because people obviously make the assumption that photo, whatever, is real, and that they've put themselves out there or whatever. And they've had, severe mental health problems, suicidal thoughts, been really traumatised.
It's not just that, is it? It's the impact that you get from friends, from family, from the community that you live in, that, this could be seen as a massive disrespect to your family. And like you say, the impacts must be horrendous on that individual.
And I think that there is there's some legislation that's come into place, and I can't be absolutely specific, that there's certain social media places that won't let you have this technology, I suppose, to do it. But again, I don't understand that, because AI seems to be everywhere, doesn't it? I saw a cat dancing to I Will Survive the other day, and I was like, that's AI. But there's some AI that you don't, you wouldn't realise is AI, because it looks so real, doesn't it?
It does.
And maybe
it's quite a scary world that we're moving into now, isn't it?
I think we need to do a show, have a guest that can tell us more about AI. Oh, we're looking at our producer here. He's not looking at me. No, he's completely ignoring me.
Isn't he?
He's the tech man.
It might be a good thing to invite him onto a show to talk about that more.
Talk about AI. He's just said, I am listening. I'm just choosing to ignore you. But I think because it's getting more and more prevalent, especially with young people, and I will say it's young girls. Yeah.
And unfortunately, I know very little about it.
I know very little.
And I think we're not alone in that. I think there's, unless you're probably young or very technically minded, you probably haven't got a clue how these things work. So, which makes you more vulnerable, I always think, if you have no knowledge of what can be done with this technology.
I mean, the closest I get to AI is like asking ChatGPT a question, because I don't know the answer. That's it though, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's just a Google search, really, isn't it? So I think maybe we need to investigate more AI stuff.
The scope of it, I think, is huge, and as it develops more and more in the next months, years, it's going to...
But then we're harping on about AI. There's also some really positive stuff, isn't there? Like in terms of like medical research and being able to save the NHS money, and we need more information.
Definitely.
So we're looking for your favourite Christmas gift, and if you don't celebrate Christmas, what has been your favourite gift of all time? You can comment, because we are live on YouTube, or you can call us on 01733 602 133, and you can text 074 119 1062. I love having the screen right in front of me. It's so cool, isn't it? So a few other things that we want to update people on, and these are some real kind of, I suppose, achievements for Peterborough Women's Aid, aren't they?
A few things have happened over the last few months, haven't they?
And me and Sue have had some really like, wow, phone calls, haven't we?
We have.
You'll never guess what. So tell us, the Peterborough City Council have awarded us £170,000 per year for the next 3 years to run safe accommodation in Peterborough. So Sue, tell us what that looks like.
So that means that we can continue to provide refuge accommodation. So that is for women who flee from outside of our area and are looking for safe accommodation to live in on a temporary basis while they come to terms with what's happened, and we then support them with the domestic abuse awareness, with helping them recognise signs of domestic abuse and helping them to move forward in their lives and set up on their own in a home or with their children. And yeah, it's such a valuable resource, and it's so much needed. There are limited refuges across the country, and as we know, 1 in 4 women are victims of domestic abuse within their lifetime. So refuges are absolutely vital, and this is women who are fleeing high-risk perpetrators who are at risk of being killed, in effect. So so the fact that we've got this funding for another 3 years is absolutely incredible.
And we're expanding, aren't we?
We are.
So we are going from an 8-bed refuge to additional accommodations. And what we're really excited about is that we're going to have a bit more flexibility in terms of helping women that have no recourse to public funds, helping women that maybe have older teenage boys, because that can be really difficult in a shared space, can't it?
Yeah, so generally across refuges, if a lady has a teenage boy probably older than 14, they can't go into shared refuges because of the risk of those young boys being triggers for the other lady in there, because obviously a lot of 14-year-old boys look a lot older and can, it sounds awful because they shouldn't be excluded because they are still children in effect, but unfortunately the other ladies within the refuge obviously find it's really, really difficult. So we're looking for accommodation where we can perhaps house those families in a house on their own. So again, we're opening those doors to a broader range of people so that we can help them.
Yeah. So
and going back to, you mentioned no recourse to public funds. I think just to explain this is ladies that don't have any entitlement to benefits within our system. They're very often come over as dependents on a visa, and then they're subjected to domestic abuse. They then flee and find that they have no rights to accommodation, no rights to benefits, so they have no money, nowhere to live. And it's a really, really difficult situation for them to be in. So by being able to provide accommodation completely free of charge to help support them with food, and then eventually to help them with their immigration and to make sure that they're contacting the right companies and getting the right support that they need. So it really, really is, again, another vital resource that we have.
And these women are often the most vulnerable, aren't they, in Peterborough? So we were just so happy that we've got this contract, and we've got additional funding to help as many families as we possibly can. We've also had some more funding from the Police and Crime Commissioner's Office. So we have secured a project working at the Victim and Witness Hub. And this means that we're working really close with police and also civilian police, and any domestic abuse crime that is reported and is assessed as medium risk, Peterborough Women's Aid will contact that victim within 3 days to offer support, safety planning and risk assessment. And this is county-wide, so this is our first project that is outside of Peterborough. So for us, this is really, massive, isn't it, that we're now working across the county. But also, it's very rare that a constabulary has a support service that can contact victims really, really quickly.
That's it, and it's a specialist service as well, isn't it? Having that specialist knowledge so that they can help those victims, like you say, really quickly after that crime has been committed, to make sure that they're getting the help and support that they need and want. Yeah.
So we're really pleased we've got that for the next 2 or 3 years, I can't remember, but hopefully we'll keep it forever. And then the last thing to talk about is our new groups that we're doing. So this is, again, we're just trying to, what am I trying to say, Sue? I'm trying to say that we're trying to make, have a variety of groups that will engage everyone in the community. Yeah. So we've kind of gone a little bit
groups as well.
Yeah, we've gone a little bit off piste, haven't we? Here. So we've got on a Monday afternoon, actually now, we've got Bums and Tums,
Yeah,
which I think I personally need after Christmas. On a Tuesday, we have our Women Warriors, which is like a peer support group. That's in the morning. On a Wednesday, we've got Own My Life, which is more of a structured programme looking at domestic abuse and supporting victims and increasing self-esteem and moving people forward.
Yeah. So that's by invitation only if you're accessing our services.
Yeah. And then Thursday, we've got journaling and meditation. And then Friday, we've got Women Warriors with Aprons, which is more arts and crafty. So apart from Own My Life, where you just need to fill in a form, which is on our website, all of these other groups are completely free, aren't they?
They are. And anyone is welcome, any woman is welcome. You can just turn up and join in. And
it's 32 to 34 Cromwell Road in Peterborough.
You don't need to bring anything. You don't need to bring a yoga mat or anything like that. That's all provided. And we just wanted to almost provide a more well-rounded service, didn't we? So that, you know, while our focus is obviously domestic abuse, we want to look after women's well-being mentally and physically. So we wanted to interact all these different things.
Yeah. Okay. We are going to go off for a break and we will be back soon.
You're listening to Salaam Radio and it's now time for Zohar Azan.
This Azan is sponsored by Children of Adam, changing lives in Peterborough and across the world since 2013.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
This dua is sponsored by Chicken Valley, flavour that rules the roost.
الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار اللهم بك نحيا وبك نموت وإليك المصير رضينا بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم نبيا ورسولا.
This is Salaam Radio, Peterborough's Muslim community radio, broadcasting on 106.2 FM and online.
Good afternoon. You are listening to Keep Women Talking, a show from Peterborough Women's Aid. I'm your host, Mandy, and I'm joined by my co-host, Sue. Good afternoon.
Hello.
We have been talking about all of the stuff that's been going on at Peterborough Women's Aid since our last show.
It's been busy.
It's been really busy. And we do have a question of the week, which is, what was your favourite Christmas gift? And if you don't celebrate Christmas, what has been your favourite gift generally? Sue got some socks from Monsters Inc.
I'm going to have to bring them to work and show you now.
And I got a puppy and some pretty cool earphones, basically. So let us know, what's your favourite gift? Call us on 01733 602 133, text on 074 119 1062, or you can listen to us live and comment on YouTube. So before the break, we were talking about what's been happening while we've been away. But because we've been off air for a little while, what we thought we would do is just run through exactly what we do at Peterborough Women's Aid. So if you're listening to the show for the first time and maybe you need support, or a family member, colleague, friends, whatever, you know exactly what services we offer. So the first thing we are going to talk about, I'll talk about this briefly because we've touched on our accommodation services anyway, haven't we?
Yeah.
But we have a refuge in Peterborough where we accommodate families who are at really high risk of abuse. And those families are outside of Peterborough, because obviously there's a huge risk if your perpetrator's in Peterborough, isn't there? So you
there's
need
a
to
risk
leave.
you might still come into contact with them, or they might find out where the refuge is located. And that not only puts that individual at risk, it puts everyone else in that refuge at risk.
And then, as we mentioned, we've got an increase in our funding from Peterborough City Council, and we're opening some more flexible accommodation, and also accommodation that could be accessed, by people in Peterborough if they just need to escape for 1 or 2 nights.
Yes,
in an
before they
emergency.
perhaps flee to a refuge elsewhere.
Yeah. So that's our safe accommodation. We also have I hope staff aren't listening. Well, they don't listen anyway, do they?
They're too busy.
But this is my favourite project. It's not really, but it is. I want you to talk about the Escape project.
So the Escape project, that's coming up to nearly 2 years,
2 years
that we've had it. So Escape is really, really vital. That's about providing support to children within the Peterborough area. Since I started working at Peterborough Women's Aid, we'd always found that there was a huge gap in support for children who have been victims of domestic abuse. A child is deemed a victim of domestic abuse in a household where there is domestic abuse taking place. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have been directly abused. It can be direct or indirect. And the Escape project means that we have staff that go into schools to run programmes. For younger children, it's more about dealing with big emotions and recognising those emotions and providing strategies for them to manage the emotions when they're feeling them. And then once we move into secondary schools, we actually do more direct domestic abuse awareness training. And we also offer assemblies. We do classes through PSHE lessons, just providing information about abuse, what it may look like, and also the opposite side of what you would expect from a healthy relationship.
And this is like the best thing ever, isn't it? Especially
It is.
the secondary school work. We're really tackling head on all of the issues like misogyny, consent.
Yeah.
What it is to be a boy these days. There's so many. It's so confusing, isn't it?
It
And
is.
What is
Getting
it?
such mixed messages on social media.
Yeah, and just blowing our own trumpet, but we were on the BBC with this one, weren't we?
We were.
We were on the BBC because this is actually groundbreaking work. There's
It
no
is.
one else out here doing it. It's on the curriculum, but the teachers can choose whether or not to do it, and we all know how, bombarded teachers are. But
And also, a lot of the schools that have invited us in because we've got this specialist knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes when students hear it from a third party rather than a teacher just reading something off the internet that they've found, it makes a huge difference to them. And we can give them examples, and we have access to social videos, if you like, that are specifically targeted at the teenage market. So rather than it demonstrating these unhealthy behaviours to adults,
yep.
it's actually from a teenage point of view, which I think has a huge impact. And we use music as well, and we sort of pull songs apart, because this is what a lot of teenagers are hearing day in, day out, and they're not actually listening to the words and what it's saying to them.
I mean, we've looked at some current, God, I sound old, I'm just going to say rap music. But actually, the language in that, it's awful.
Yeah.
And it talks about rape, it talks about misogyny, sexism, the way women walk, the way they dress. And if you're a young boy or girl and you've got that literally in your head, because you've got it on your headphones and you're listening to it and you're talking about it.
And even if you're not consciously listening to those words, subconsciously they are going in.
Yeah. So we're doing lots of work. We've been to Arthur Mellows, haven't we? Done some work there. We're going into St Peter's in Huntingdon tomorrow. Then we're doing a series in Hampton. So if you're listening and you work at a secondary school or a sixth form, and you would like us to come in, and this is all free, and do assemblies for your young people, then go on our website and just get in touch through that. So we've got the Victim and Witness Hub. Tell us about our Lithuanian project.
So the Lithuanian project has been around for a few years now. We found that there was a higher proportion of Lithuanian women that were being killed due to domestic abuse in the local area. So we started a specialist Lithuanian project where the staff are Lithuanian, they can understand the culture, they obviously speak the language, which enables people from the Lithuanian community to be able to contact us and speak comfortably with someone who understands their culture, who they can talk to in their first language, which is a massive, massive barrier and helps enormously to have someone, that they can communicate with effectively. And that. So that's open to any Lithuanian person within the Peterborough area who can come through our advice line number, which we will give throughout the programme.
I think that's Sue saying she can't remember the advice line number. I've got
01733 894 964. There you go. I can remember it.
And then we have the Dahlia project, which is kind of a similar thing to the Lithuanian project. So it's specialist work with South Asian victims of domestic abuse. And I suppose the key to this project is that it's been run by members of the South Asian community. And we've done a lot of work at Peterborough Women's Aid in terms of how that looks and how challenging it can be for women from the South Asian community to access help and support.
And we wanted to make sure that we had a project that could meet those women's needs.
Yeah. And the more we deliver this project, the more we see that actually options that might be open to, for example, a white British victim might not be open to a South Asian victim. Things like leave the family, get a divorce, go into a refuge. All of these things actually might not feel like options, where for other people it does. So it's about understanding, like you say, the needs of that community. And we work with about 150 South Asian women a year, which is absolutely huge.
And it's growing all the
growing.
time, as well as people become aware of the services that we offer.
Yeah. tell us about the Peacock Project.
So the Peacock Project is a new one.
It's a new one.
So this supports any victim of domestic abuse within Peterborough, so male, female, any gender whatsoever. You can ring our advice line and receive specialist support. So we offer emotional and practical support, whether that's being a listening ear, whether that's someone who rings up and says, look, I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not sure whether this is abuse or not. We can help you with that. We can help you pick that apart to help you to make those decisions. Practical support, we might help with housing, we might help through court proceedings, we might help you finding a specialist solicitor, pointing you in the right direction for a counsellor. And we can help and support in terms of advocating for you with other professionals if we need to. So again, a really, really important project that we've had since...
We went live 1st of October.
1st of October.
Yeah, and we've been funded through the City Council for 3 years.
Yeah. So again, you just access that project by contacting our advice line.
Yeah, or going on the website or live web chat. So some people want to remain anonymous, but also get some advice. So you can do that via our web chat, or just there's a contact us form on our website. And all the stuff we're talking about today is on our website and on our Facebook page, and TikTok and all of that jazz. And then we've already briefly touched on the Victim and Witness Hub work, and that's when we contact victims really quickly after a crime has been committed, and that's county-wide.
Yeah, interestingly, excuse me, every 30 seconds the police receive a call about someone reporting a domestic abuse incident. But I think on reflection, we have to remember that there's an awful lot of people that don't go to the police. So those numbers do not give a true reflection of how prevalent domestic abuse is. And through our services, we never expect anyone to contact the police. It's not a criteria for having support from us. And the same with, you don't have to have fled your perpetrator. We will support you and help you while you remain with that perpetrator, if that is your choice.
And I think that's really important, isn't it? Because I think there's often a fear with clients, if they come forward, we are going to say to them, oh, you need to leave, or you need to report this, or you need to do, but we don't. We're very much led by the people that we're working with. And if you feel safe for staying in that relationship, that's fine. If you don't want to leave that relationship, that's fine.
Everyone's circumstances are very individual, and we will support you no matter what your decisions are.
Yeah. And so that goes along for all of our services, and that's a really important message to get out there, isn't it? That there's no expectation just to be able to reach out to us. So you can reach out to us on our advice line 01733 894 964, via our website, and there is a www.peterboroughwomensaid.co.uk, and there is a contact us form and a web chat. And or you can email us. There's an email there as well. And like I say, everything we've talked about today is, excuse me, on our website. So if you do need to get in touch, please do so.
Exactly.
So we are going to, oh my goodness, Sue, we've really chatted. We've only got 13 minutes left.
First show back, we've had a lot to squeeze in.
We've had a lot to talk about. No one's got in touch about their Christmas gifts.
Everyone's too busy. It's January.
It is January, isn't it? Maybe people have just forgotten, like, Christmas.
Wasn't it Blue Monday last week? Was that last week?
Is that when you're supposed to feel really down?
Really down after the festive period, and like the Christmas sales are all finishing and all the rest of it. It's meant to be.
Did you go to the Christmas
weather's
sales?
Not good. No, I didn't.
I didn't either. I think, like, years ago, we're going off piece again, aren't we?
We are.
But do you remember years ago when people would literally queue outside of Next?
Yes, on Boxing Day.
At 5 a.m. on Boxing Day.
I know. Never did that.
No.
Bonkers.
And then when you went in there, it was such a rummage that you couldn't find anything you wanted anyway, could you? And then I just like give up and walk out.
And people had come out with massive bags full, wouldn't they? Absolutely crammed.
Yeah, no, I'm not to be honest, I'm not really a massive shopper.
No, I'm not, to be fair.
If I have to look more than 30 seconds, Just buy it on Shein. That's what I feel. Or other retailers.
Other retailers are available.
Right, we've gone off on a tangent.
We have. Let's get back to domestic abuse.
Sorry.
So I think there is quite a misconception as well that domestic abuse is solely physical.
Mm-hmm.
So when someone hits you, when someone kicks you, when someone strangles you, but it's not. There's so much more to it than that. And I know a lot of the ladies that we work with actually say that the psychological and emotional abuse can be considerably worse and stays with them for years and years after they've left the relationship. So I think it's really important to recognise that it's not just physical abuse. There's psychological, emotional, coercive control. There's sexual abuse, tech abuse, which we touched on briefly earlier. And it can be all or some of these. It very often is a real mix of various different behaviours that you see from a perpetrator.
So let's start with the... I'm just actually, before we start talking in detail about this, I'm just going to say if you are listening and you've got little ones, we are going to be talking about domestic abuse and violence. So you might want to listen to us later, maybe. So, like you say, the first thing that people think of domestic... I mean, actually, backtrack. It didn't used to be called domestic abuse. It used to be called domestic violence.
Yes.
And violence...
Because that was all that it was about.
Exactly.
Was the physical side of things.
So the physical side of things. So you've you listed a few. So we are talking kind of assault, aren't we?
Yes.
Hitting,
spitting,
all
kicking,
the stuff.
Strangulation, although there are additional laws that have come in for that now.
Tell us about... So the stuff I know, I was watching something, it might have been last night or the night before, and the thing that really gets to me about non-fatal strangulation and strangulation is that when you see it on the TV, and they hold that person and they're dead within 15 seconds, that is not true, is it? It takes a long time to kill someone by strangulation.
It does. You have to hold their neck for quite a long time, but they do pass out within that time scale.
And that, I find that really disturbing because, like I say, it's not like you see it on TV. It's quite a long process. And the fact that a perpetrator is taking
it's a
the
very
time...
personal thing as well, very often, isn't it?
Yeah. And a very... close attack. Do you know what I mean? But we've done... There's some stuff that's come out recently. I think we've talked about it on the show before about non-fatal strangulation, which we see quite a lot, don't we? Tell us what that is.
We do. So it's not necessarily someone holding their hands around your throat. It's about any restriction to you breathing. Mm-hmm. So that may be pressure on the front of the throat. It could be hands around the throat. It could be covering nose and mouth. Mm-hmm. And this can be used to prevent you from talking. It can be used to make you pass out so that then they can perform other sexual acts, for example, on you without your knowledge. And if this is done repeatedly, it can also have quite damaging effects on your vocal cords, on the bones in your neck can become damaged. It's a horrible, horrible thing to have to endure.
And it can lead to a stroke, strokes in later life, can't it? Because of restrictions to blood to the brain. And we also know that non-fatal strangulation leads to fatal strangulation. So when we have clients that came in and say, well, he holds me by the throat or he tries to strangle me, that's a real high risk factor that potentially could be the cause of death. It's
very often a precursor to murder.
Okay, so that's physical abuse, and we've talked a lot about non-fatal strangulation. I'm just going to repeat our helpline, which is 01733 894 964, or our website, www.peterboroughwomensaid.co.uk, and you can access all of our services there, because we're talking about some really heavy but unfortunately real life stuff.
Absolutely.
Tell me, let's look at a different type of abuse.
Let's talk about economic abuse, because this is quite a new one that's relatively only recently sort of been recognised. So economic and financial abuse is when your perpetrator may withhold money from you or take your money from you.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, you may be going out to work, you get your wages paid in, and your perpetrator either takes all that money out of your account because he's managed to get access to your account, or has threatened you so much that you've given him the password for your online banking.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have no means to, for example, buy sanitary towels.
Mm-hmm.
You have no means to buy milk for your baby. And these are the extremes that we see, is that, a woman can have no access to money whatsoever, whether that's the perpetrator has applied for benefits solely in their name,
Mm-hmm.
or as a joint account, but the money goes into their bank account solely. So this means that you have no means to, like I say, get basic toiletries for you, your children, the family home, basic food. Very often perpetrators will say, oh, well, you need to go and do the shopping for the family for this week. You have £17.63 to spend. This is what you need to buy, and provide a list. And if you don't manage to buy those items for that amount or for that exact amount, then there will be consequences to that, whatever they may be.
And I think so, this economic abuse, so it can also, it links to everything, doesn't it? In terms of links to isolation, like not being allowed to go to work, not being allowed to have your own bank account.
You've got no means to get on a bus to go into town and meet a friend.
And then when you think about maybe someone's made a decision to leave that abusive relationship, I need to come back. Remind me to come back to you with something then. It just popped into my mind. That they don't have access to any money.
Yeah.
So how physically are you going to do that? How are you going to get to the train station or on a train or in a taxi if you have absolutely no money whatsoever? So it's so controlling and so isolating.
And then there's also the scenario that within that relationship you've been forced or coerced to sign paperwork for loans, for second mortgages, and for a credit card that you have no control over whatsoever. So your perpetrator can be racking up debts in your name.
Yeah. What popped into my head is I just said, I need your opinion on this, because this is going around in my head quite a lot in the work that we do. I just said abusive relationship. Is there such a thing? In terms of, I've just said, she's fled an abusive relationship. Is that can we call it a relationship, or is it an abusive...
I knew exactly what you were going to say.
Is it an abusive situation? Because relationship, in my head, means two people wanting to be together. Like you say, we're going to work on our relationship, or it just...
It's a really tricky one, isn't it? Because anything can have a relationship with something else, whether that's good or bad. So while relationship isn't a wrong word, I understand where you're coming from, where I think it's your viewpoint on a relationship and how you perceive that word. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
does that make sense?
It's really tricky, isn't it? And then we get on to use of language generally. And I was having this discussion with someone the other day about, I don't know how to say this in a nice way, but what do we call the people we work with? and I mean that in a nice way. Do we say survivors? Do we say victims? Do we say people with lived experience? Do we say clients?
That's it. And people who have been subjected to
People who have been
domestic
subjected
abuse.
to domestic abuse. But there is this new and very exciting, actually, new role in the council, isn't there? One of our former colleagues and
Yes.
trustee is in this new role, and it is to... Actually, she's going to come on the show because I think she'd be amazing.
I think you're right.
One of her new role is to ask these questions to people that have experienced
Yes.
abuse. Do you want to be labelled? Do you want to be called a victim, a survivor, a client?
And a lot
what
of
do you want?
the people that we work with don't want to be called a victim.
They just want to be called their name.
Yeah, that's it. They don't want a label. They don't want to have this umbrella hanging over their head, especially when they've reached a point where actually they're moving on in their lives.
Yeah, yeah. It's so tricky, isn't it?
It is. And I think it does come down to personal preference a lot of the time.
Yeah, I mean, at PWA, I think old school people like me and you, I mean, I use the word clients.
Yes.
Just because I feel like we're offering a service and I don't want to assume someone is a victim, wants to be called a victim or a survivor, but at the same time, they might not want to be called a client either.
No.
So hard,
It
isn't
is
it?
really, really hard. I'm just really aware we're running out of time, Mandy.
We are massively running out of time. We've only got like 30 seconds to go, and we haven't done most of the content that Sue and I were going to do this week. But we are back in 2 weeks' time. We might have a guest. We might not.
we might just continue the conversation.
We might just keep talking to each other. But thank you, Sue. It's been lovely.
It's been great
It's been
to be
great,
back.
hasn't it? And hopefully soon we're going to have news of a podcast, which we're really excited about. So thank you so much for listening, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Craving authentic